Hello, this is Mr. Burns here. I'm going to do a little tutorial of a strategy game called Ticket to Ride, which many of you may have played. It's one of my favorites. It's a simple game and it's a lot of fun. It takes 45 minutes to an hour. It's for 2 to 5 players. This Ticket to Ride game is created by Alan R. Moon from Days of Wonder. So here's the board. You're going to see the board looks like a map of the United States. The map of the United States has all kinds of different train routes. And the train routes are all different colors depending on the color of car and the color of track that are laid. You'll also see that there are some gray routes, which is a different rule, and there's some that are double and some that are single, and I'll explain those as we go. So let's look here at some of the different pieces of the game. You have your pieces here, 5 different colors, and those track the score on the outside of the board. Each of those colors comes with 45 train cars: yellow, black, blue, red, and green. There are train cards that you collect throughout the game. These allow you to build. You'll see that there's a pile face down, along with the display of 5 face-up cards that you can choose from. There's also something called destination tickets. At the beginning of the game, you get 4 train cards, and you get 3 destination tickets. You can choose to keep all 3 or 2 of the 3. There's also a scoring table. And the scoring table is also displayed on the board over here. And it shows you every time you build a rail route that's 1 train, you get 1 point. 2 trains, 2 points, and so on. If you build a train rail that's 6 trains, you get 15 points. The goal of the game is to attempt to connect the cities on your destination ticket. If you connect them throughout the game, you get that many points as labeled. If you do not connect them, you lose that many points at the end of the game. In the middle of the game, if you wish to add more destination tickets, you can. You really have one of 3 options on your turn. One of them is to choose cards. You can pick either 2 face down, 1 face up and 1 face down, 2 face up, or if you choose a locomotive wild card, that's the only card you can pick. Every time 1 is picked, 1 is replaced for the next player. If 3 locomotives face up, you get rid of all the cards and get 5 new ones out on the table. Another thing you could do on your turn is build trains. So if you had, like this player yellow, has a red and a wild. That would be a combination of 2 reds. And this person needs to go from Sault Ste. Marie to Nashville. So one strategy might be here, Sault Ste. Marie, and then here they follow the 2 gray, and the 4 yellow to Nashville. The player would give the 2 cards to the dealer. The player would take 2 yellows and play it on the gray. The gray can be any color as long as they're both the same. Remember, locomotives are wild. The player would then get 2 points because they played a 2 on their turn. Another thing you can do on your turn is you can take more destination tickets. So during the middle of your turn, you would take 3 more of these. And then you have to keep at least 1 if you decide to do that. That's usually something you might do once per game, or you might not do it at all. You do not have to build on these routes. You can build anywhere. You can block an opponent. You can build on the opposite side of the board to collect points. But the goal really is to make sure you get all of these, otherwise you lose the points. So you keep track of your score throughout the game, and then at the end of the game, you reveal your destinations and whether you made them or not, and add those points. The person with the highest points wins. There's also a 10-point bonus for having the longest route, called the Trans-America Express. The double and single options do come into play. If you're playing a 2 or 3 player game and you want to go from Los Angeles to San Francisco, only 1 person can use this route. If you're playing a 4 or 5 player game, both of these routes can be used by 2 different players. Player with the highest score wins. Great simple game, lots of fun, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, come see Mr. Burns, and we'll talk about Ticket to Ride during Strategy Games Club.